is getting on our nerves. And of course, the roads are also part of the worries we got in our dear country. And that's why the reason is for us to bring this up this morning on Citizens Forum on Rock City 101.9 FM, talking about the Daybreak Show, a segment on Daybreak Show. All right, Toby.
I tell
A
you,
lot to get worried about.
So many things to get worried about. But one thing we are all concerned about is the state of our roads. So not only the fact that so many accidents occur daily on these roads, but the fact that many of them are dilapidated. They need urgent reconstruction, refurbishment, rehabilitation, resurfacing, name it. So many names that you can come up with. But so many times you find out that there is some kind of clear or sharp disagreement between the federal and state governments as regards the maintenance of these roads and reconstruction of these roads. Of course, we all know the hulabaloo that the Apapa Oshodi Expressway has generated in recent times, and for years, why that road has remained as it is. For more than 8 years, or let's say for 8 years that Babatu Raje Fashoda was there as governor of Lagos State, he had a running battle with the federal government to actually do something on that road. Dito Bola Ahmed Tinubu, former governor of Lagos State, and of course, somebody is also trying to see whatever he can do on that particular road. But I think there's an agreement now through a public-private partnership to actually reconstruct that road, which is very strategic, going by the fact that it is the gateway out and in to the most busiest seaport in sub-Saharan Africa. When you look at this issue, come to Ogun State, you also recall the hulabaloo that was generated when the governor of Ogun State, Senator Bikola Musu, tried to reconstruct or rehabilitate a section of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, which was an eyesore then, and then the former president and administration, Goodluck Jonathan, had to almost go to court or go to war with the state government for actually attempting to. So when you look at all these instances, you realize that there's always this: no, it's a federal road; no, it's a state road. Don't come near, don't touch it. You can't construct it. Is that our governors are using it as an excuse of not touching a particular important road, as dilapidated as it may be, or the federal government saying that no, you can't touch it, because if you do, you come up with claims that may be difficult to substantiate because you will seek refund for the money spent on these so-called federal roads, and it might be difficult for us to ascertain whether you truly spent so billions of naira that you are claiming, and you want to be refunded. So these are issues that have gone on for so long, and I think that is why governors at the last National Economic Council meeting, presided over by the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, are saying unanimously to the presidency and to the federal government that this time around, just to release these federal roads to us. We want to take them over. We have the financial muscle and capacity to actually handle, maintain, reconstruct, rehabilitate, and name it, whatever name you want to come up with. But is that the true position? How many of them can actually boast, beat their chest, and say that they have done justice to the state roads in their respective states? What about local government roads? How are these roads faring in the hands of the so-called local government, when many people may even disagree that we have governments at the local level? How functional are these thoughts here when it comes to road maintenance? Others are also of the opinion that through public-private partnership, definitely the state governors can do this, so it might not be out of place for them to be campaigning to take over these federal roads. I recall that we discussed this on Quick Takes, where we asked you, should the federal government grant this request? I think we need to take it further, Aghemerio, when we look at the nitty-gritty of this request of the 36 state governors, and look at the angle they are picking up this argument from, which is the fact that the federal government seems not to have the financial capacity to handle these federal roads. But when you look at that angle, you can only ask one question, which readily comes to mind. If the federal government that has or that takes the larger chunk of the federal allocation uh, does not have the financial capacity, what about the states who go cap in hand every month in Abuja to get their own fair share or unfair share in quotes of the allocation? Do they have the financial capacity to actually handle this
Well,
so-called federal
even if they,
rules?
I want to believe that even if the financial capacity is not there, they have they've been able to. I want to believe they have the solutions on the ground, or they've been able to sit down and draw up plans that could make this happen. Okay, it's my thought. But now, what exactly is that plan? And if they have such plans or they have such strategies, okay, why is it that they've not been able to apply those strategies to building the state roads? Because we have a state roads that are still very, very bad. And if they're struggling with the state roads, how then will they be able to, build or work on the federal roads? The strategies they plan to apply or to use in maintaining and making these federal roads work or pliable, why can't they actually, let's see that being played out or being used in making the roads, the state roads work? But then so many things you've raised already, or so many issues you've raised already this morning in your introduction, and I want us to just hit the ground running because we have in the studio someone who is capable to answer most of these questions that we will be raising, and even those the questions that callers and the people who will be sending the messages, will be raising too. So let's just hit the ground running and let's see how far we can go this morning.
Yes, we have a concerned Nigerian, patriotic, who is also concerned about the state of our roads in the studio. He is a surveyor by profession, and of course is a public affairs analyst and a social commentator in the person of Dayo Folarin. You're welcome to the Daybreak Show, Mr. Dayo Folarin.
Good morning, Tobi. Good morning, Nigerians.
All right, straight on, Dayo Folarin. Governors of the 36 states of the Federation are now saying, well, let us take over these federal roads. On the surface, when you heard this news, what came to your mind?
I felt that was one of the greatest jokes I've heard in the last 2 decades.
Really?
Yes.
Why is it a joke?
Like you said, every month they go to Abuja, cap in hand, to get funds, and you are the ones complaining that the federal routes are not being maintained by the federal government. Where is the money going to come from? I will tell you this. Nigeria is a developing country. Developing countries don't do what developed countries do. They do what developing countries do. We should, at this time, be privatizing the roads. What is wrong with tolling of our roads? If you give company A Lagos Ibadan Expressway, everybody in Nigeria knows the owner of company A and knows that company A maintains the road and tolls the road. It's very simple. At the end of the first 2 years, if they don't complete it, you can sue them to court. If my truck has an accident on the road, I can sue the company that is maintaining the road. But if you give it to the state that can't even maintain its own roads to, I don't know, who am I going to sue? You can't sue the government and expect a judicial officer that is being paid by the government to sit on in the court and decide your case. But if I sue Tobi and Co. or Tobi Constructions, that yes, a portion of the road along Ibadan Lagos Expressway has cost me 200 million damages. Of course, I'm not going to get a fair hearing in court. Let us do what is right in this country. We don't need the states to take over these roads. They can't afford it.
Now, if you're saying they can't afford it, now let's quickly look at what came up last year. That was July 20th last year, when the federal government appealed to state governments that were financially buoyant, okay, to take over maintenance and repairs of these federal roads in their domain. Okay, now I'll pick those words again: financially buoyant. Now let's mark this. Do you know any state in the country that can be qualified as financially buoyant?
To me, I think Lagos State is the only state in this country that's financially buoyant for anything. I tell you, go and check the Internal Generated Revenue. I was told that a region in this country does not generate what Ogun State alone does in a month. A region that has over 4 states. What are we talking about? I believe the onus is on you, the people of the press, to enlighten our leaders that there are some things that are not just attainable.
Now, if you think that these states are not buoyant enough, why do you think the state governors will be asking the federal government to hand this roads over to them? Because I want to believe they know what they have, and they know that they're capable enough to handle this rightly.
Last year, the federal government spent 73 billion naira on federal roads alone, from construction to maintenance. 73 billion naira on road construction in 2016 alone. I don't need to say much. The states too wants more chunk every month. Let me tell you this: if you can't generate money, you don't need to be given more money.
But we have the public-private partnership.
I will tell you this: if your public-private partnership agreement does not finish in 4 years or 8 years for any government or any business enterprise, if a new government comes in, there's always a problem.
Just
you understand?
Just like we encountered on Lagos Ibadan Expressway.
Yes. When Baba Obasanjo was there, they gave it to Babalaki. When Yadra came in, they had issues. When Jonathan came in, we forgot about it.
It was awarded to Jonas Berger, and then they went to court, and that was the settlement that.
Let me tell you this: a country does not value the life of its citizens goes the way of these things. If you value the life of your citizens, things like this will not happen.
Okay, now let us quickly break this public-private partnership proposal coming from the governors down. What they are saying is that, well, there are too many federal roads. We are not saying give us all of it. That's talking about the governors now. Don't give us every federal road. Give us some of them, very strategic federal roads. We are going to work with investors or private sector to fix these roads, and then we'll toll the roads. Now, is that proposal a workable one?
Tobi, the state roads have all of them been completed? This morning I took Idiaba Ewan bypass. Every year, that road is meant to be maintained by local government. But local governments are not maintaining the roads. Let me tell you this: the states are not empowering the local government. Or let me go this way: you are the mother, I'm the father. The local government, the father is the federal government, the mother is the state. The children are the local government. If you don't empower your wife, he won't train your kids. The states are like not helping the local government at all. They're not allowing them to do their job. When the states get the allocation to the local government, they just pay school fees. Teacher salaries, and that's all. And they pay their salaries. That's all. Most roads that are being tampered with by the state is owned by the local government.
So in your own opinion, the state or the states do not have what it takes to maintain this road?
They don't.
Now, that's why I'm saying, well, if they don't have the financial muscle and capacity, the federal allocations are dwindling, even if there is a rebound in the economy, it's still nothing to write home about. Talk about allocations. They add this to their internally generated revenue. Um, and yet they can't cope with this. What about the private sector? The private sector can come in, handle some of these roads, like the kind of arrangement they are having now with Dangote Group. Dangote is now constructing some roads for the federal government using concrete and cement. These are workable public-private partnerships that could be explored.
You said Dangote is constructing the road.
Yes.
The permission was given to Dangote by who? State or
By
federal?
the federal government. So can't the state government do this after they must have taken over these roads from the federal government? Instead of just saying no, they can't handle it, let them go to sleep.
Tobi, I'll tell you this. I'm a businessman.
Yes.
Ask any businessman in Nigeria, who would you prefer to do business with? State or federal government? They will tell you the federal government.
Why? Why do you think this is so?
The state government, in their own little way, they try, but it's not enough. You can't give what you don't have. Let me give you an example. In 2007, I was involved with the construction of a road in Bauchi State. That same year, I came down to Abeokuta. The Shagamu-Abeokuta road was being dualized. The road I was involved in Bauchi, I knew it was going to last over 30 years. A normal lifespan of every road, average is 25 to 26 years. The northern part of this country is blessed with very good terrain. But I tell you, when I got to Shagamu-Abeokuta road, I knew that road is going to be having issues in less than a year. Don't forget.
Why?
Number one, our technical expertise by our so-called engineers is appalling. The Barra Bridge was constructed over a period of about 6 months. And I will tell you this. No Moshood Abiola police student from the departments of any of the engineering was around to observe. That's what's done in other parts of the world. When something is going on, relevant departments of institutions will come in. Most of our engineers in the States,
we're not involved.
They are graduates of many years. Technologies coming. In Netherlands, if I tell you waste product, plastic waste products are being used for road construction in Netherlands. What do we do with our waste? There's no research. They're not adding value to the economic level. The day you stop learning, that's the day you start dying. Most of our engineers are archaic. Even in the federal, they are archaic.
All right, so what do you think the way forward will be if you've just said that, okay, the state governors do not have the capacity or especially the financial muscle to handle this, and we don't even have the, the technical power to do this? What do you think the way forward should be?
The way forward is simple. Toll the roads. Give it to private companies. They will employ hands. Even if they have to go to Malaysia and China to employ engineers, they will go outside. And we have Nigerians that have studied outside this country and they are back. And they are ready to come back.
So the federal government themselves should toll the roads.
They should just give it out to companies that will tow it.
And carry out maintenance.
And they will maintain it. If I have issues with the road, I can sue the company.
Of course, back then we used to have some of our roads, the federal roads, towed, and all of a sudden it was taken off.
Why it happened, I don't know. But I can tell you this. What was the population of our cars then? What was the population? The cars on the road then, I think has quadrupled.
So it should still be the job of the federal government. But even from the looks of things, the federal government, let's look at the kind of a situation whereby the federal government maintaining, constructing and reconstructing roads in state. Don't you think that is also a burden on the federal government? Because we have some of the states actually saying that, or the governors saying that, they will be able to maintain these federal roads just like theirs.
How many state governors have said they want to do that? Let me tell you this. I've been to, in the last few months, I've been to Osun State, I've been to Kwara State. There are constructions going on. But I can tell you this. The roads are so much. We have so many roads in Nigeria. In Ogun State alone, if I count 5 for you, you'll be surprised. And they are busy roads. Abeokuta Ibadan is within Ogun State. Ibadan Lagos is beginning Ogun State. Itaoshin to Oshodi is within Ogun State. Lafenwa to Rwanda is a federal road. Shagamu, Papalanto, Ilaru Road is a federal road. Yes, that's a federal road. Tell me.
Ikorodu Shagamu.
Whoever becomes the commissioner for works will just slum one day.
So it's not just possible for the state governors to handle this?
I don't think so. Let them privatize these roads. Let them be told. I will tell you this. People will be responsible and people will be accountable for them.
All right. Now, one other thing that I want us to quickly talk about, your expertise as a surveyor. This professional bodies like the surveyor, you have the Nigerian Institution of Surveyors,
Yeah.
you have the Nigerian Society of Engineers, NSC, you have the building, the Town Planners
Yeah.
Association, you have so many of them who are very key, the civil engineers and all that. You have this body is very key to road construction, maintenance and all that. How incorporated are they into many of this design, construction, operation, maintenance of our federal roads?
I'll tell you at this state, the federal roads, there's a chain of command within FEMA. The appointment of the board members is always political. Fine. They always make sure, most times, that the chairman of the board is an engineer. Not 100%, as in it's not sacrosanct, it has to be an engineer. But I will tell you this. Nigerians love money. We only dance to where money is. We only sleep where money is. As long as maintenance of road, federal road, is being carried out by FEMA in Nigeria, you're not going to have any success. Let me tell you this. If you have a road to maintain for a year, if you do it quarterly, that's 4 times a year. But if I'm giving the contract to tow the road and maintain it, the maintenance can be done every month. Because I know that at the end of the year, there's going to be an appraisal. FEMA would not have anything to do with maintenance. We just be monitoring an appraisal. It's difficult for these civil servants. The bureaucracy in the civil service is cumbersome. Let them tow the roads. Let competent companies bid for it. It could be open bid. Company profiles will be checked. If a company says that AYZ building and construction blah 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 company, you can Google them. You can do your research on them. You can even visit sites where they said they've done this and this and this and this.
They'll be able to be. It will be easy to hold them accountable.
For Christ's sake.
Okay, now this
Still on that, that's still the belief of some of the state governors that once they assume ownership of the roads in them, the citizens can demand responsibility from them and also for on their maintenance.
I don't believe the citizens can demand any responsibility from any governor.
Why do you think so?
I will tell you this. Most governors, before they get into the office, are very close to the citizenry. The moment they get there, it's a different ballgame entirely. This is the only country I know that one person has the entire knowledge of an accountant, of an engineer, of a surveyor, of a doctor. Most of these governors they're emperors. They have advisors, they don't listen to them. They do what they like. That's the system.
So that's not just true that the citizens can demand responsibility.
Demand what kind of responsibility? They do what they like. Their first term is always good, or close to perfect. But when they come in second term, they don't listen to anybody. What they all think about is who's going to take over my position when I leave. Let everybody stay in their lane. Give some responsibilities to the local government. Let them maintain some roads. Probably if the states can allow the local government to do some roads, take some responsibilities, their hands will be a little bit free.
Now, one request that has also been made recently is that many of these federal roads should how do I put it? That the federal government should consider putting speed breakers or speed bumps on these roads. As a surveyor, do you think that is right?
No.
Why? Why can't we do that?
You can't put a speed breaker on the expressway. It doesn't make sense.
So what if that will?
Are you trying to deter the speed of the car vis-a-vis the movement of pedestrians? Pedestrians are not meant to be on the expressway. That's why there's always a creation or provision of pedestrian bridges over the road or under the road, depending on the terrain. Let me tell you, Nigeria is a peculiar situation. We don't have rails. We don't have buses. The only things we have is just the road and water. The water system, waterways have not been exploited, and we don't have much. But I will tell you this. If you prioritize these roads for tolling and different companies maintain, toll them and monitor them, and every year FEMA or an agency monitors them, appraises them, for Christ's sakes. If it's every 4 years or every 2 years, they go for rebid. They're going to have more jobs. They're going to have more jobs because local companies will bid for them.
And there'll be more money.
There'll be more money in circulation.
Because of the volume of cars that pass through the roads every day.
When Fashola said they spent 73 billion last year on roads, do you know what 73 billion would do to an economy of job seekers, artisans? We should think outside the box in Nigeria.
Now, the issue of FEMA, a lot of people have questioned the competence of FEMA. In Ogun State, I know people who have actually called to question the competence and efficiency of FEMA in maintaining federal roads in the state. To some people, they are not even existent at all in the state. So, if you're talking about maintenance becoming the responsibility of these private companies that must have actually won a bid to either construct or rehabilitate and then toll the road. What would be the role of FEMA in all this?
I'll tell you this. FEMA has one of the best hands in this country presently. They are very good engineers. But if you tell FEMA with all the zonal officers to monitor private companies that have been given these roads, they'll do their jobs better. Knowing it that no matter what happens on this road, my report matters when it gets back to the board in 2 years' time, when this company is going to rebid. Nigeria is large. You have a large population. And you have a lot of people moving around, Tobi. in other parts of the world, probably most places where we go to, Nigerians, we travel a lot. We go to UK, US. You see, people in UK don't use their cars every day. Probably on Sundays. They use an alternative bus, train, tubes. But in Nigeria, the only thing we have is the road. We use the cars.
But don't you think that is the problem? Maybe we've not exploited, just like you said, the other means of transportation, like water, like rail. Even though there is a rollout of new rail routes, and of course new coaches that could actually move goods, and of course people. Uh, Across the country through rail. Should we decongest the roads by focusing on other means of transportation and exploiting those other means as a way of creating sanity on the highways, and of course and making sure that the roads endure and last longer than they should?
Tobi, I'll tell you this. If you call the FRSC sector command in Ogun State to give you statistics of accidents that have happened in Ogun State in the last 1 year or 10 years, it will tell you this. 65 to 70% of them have been involved with heavy duty trucks. What you should do if you want to decongest the roads, make sure the heavy duty trucks don't move at some certain time. Then again, why can't you tell the trucks to put all their loads in the rail system? If you restrict their movement, these trucks between 8 in the evening and 5 a.m., if I want to drive around that time, I know that yes, this is the risk I'm taking. There are some countries that don't allow trucks during the day because of their kids. You see trucks, I think I was in the lorry some months back, around 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon. Kids were coming out of school and trucks were moving. And I was like, wow. Fine, there was construction going on, but this shouldn't happen.
So you would be an advocate of trucks moving at night?
Let them move at night. If they can't move at night, let them push all their loads to the rail.
To the rail.
They are heavy duty trucks.
Would that not be pushing heavy duty owners out of business?
They are not pushing them out of business. Let me tell you this. Nigerian economy is still like this because we still run a 12 to 16 hour timing. If we have a 24-hour system, if you employ 300 road safety corps marshals in Ogun State between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. in the evening, another set of 300 will be employed between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. in the morning. That's 600. You double the number of employees.
So they will have a 24-hour working schedule.
But obviously we still can't afford that.
Because you're not ready. You see, we are not ready. Nigeria is not ready. If you are ready, you will do it. Nigeria will go all over the world and make things differently. And the company that runs Gatwick Airport is run by a Nigerian, and he's a man.
Is that not what the some of the state governors are looking at doing now, bringing new things on board and trying to change the transportation system by working on the federal roads, especially the major federal roads that could change the economy of the state?
I'll tell you this. Road transportation is big business. Government has no business doing business.
You truly believe that? You think they can't successfully do this? You think they can't successfully do this? They've done it in the past when they were tolling roads and the tickets were being issued by the Federal Ministry of Works.
Most of the directors then were billionaires. Go and check the records.
So that takes us to the issue of corruption. Some are also saying why some of these state governors are campaigning to take over this road is because many of them have construction companies, and so they will employ the services of their construction companies or the construction companies of their cronies to rehabilitate, reconstruct.
I don't know about that.
Toll the roads.
I don't know about that.
All right, we'll have to go this break for the national news at 10. When we come back, we'll still have in the studio Mr. Dayo Folarin, a concerned Nigerian, a public affairs analyst, and of course a surveyor by profession. We're looking at this issue of roads being taken over, federal roads as it were, being taken over by state governors. That's what they're campaigning for. That is what they want. What is your take? You can start sending your messages to 32120. Type rock, leave a space, type your message, include your name, and send to 32120. Or your tweets, your contributions on Twitter at RockCityFM is our Twitter handle. Or you drop by and post your comments on our Facebook page, RockCityFM 11.9. Stay with us. Alright, you're welcome back. It's still Citizens for about the Daybreak Show. This beautiful Wednesday morning, the 11th day in the month of October 2017. What we're looking at this morning is the state of our roads. How do we reconstruct, rehabilitate, and maintain these federal roads? Well, the state government seems to have a way out, and that is take over of some of these federal roads so that they can enter into public-private partnership with investors who can reconstruct these roads and, of course, toll these roads, and that will also generate not only money for the investors but also the state government. And that is what we're discussing this morning. We have in the studio a concerned Nigerian, a public affairs analyst, and a surveyor by profession, Mr. Dayo Folarin. Without much ado, without wasting much of your time, we'd like to accommodate your questions, contributions this morning on the show. You have various platforms for you to do that. On Facebook, you can reach us on Rock City FM 11.9. That's our Facebook fan page. And of course, on Twitter, at Rock City FM is our Twitter handle. Just tweet your contributions. 32120 is the shortcut number. All you have to do is to type ROCK, leave a space, type your message, include your name, and send to 32120. Or you call the studio lines 0809 868 7344 0909 146 9670.
Alright, we just have the lines buzzing now. Hello, good morning. Hello. I never lost that call. Another just call there. Hello, good morning. Yes, good morning.
My name is Big Daddy.
Alright.
Welcome ourselves.
Thank you, sir. Good morning.
Please, I want to understand that I supporting toll gate to come back to Nigeria. You know, normally patch road. What's it called? What are they doing? You know that, let's thank God in Ogun State we did not get erosion or whatever. What is causing erosion from some of other states? Just because of their quota and every other thing, because our governor here did a wonderful thing people did not understand. You know, I want you to understand that there is much corruption in Nigeria. Even if you're trying to say today, may God should have a they will not do it. Just because everybody's fighting for his pocket. I'm looking for a doctor to become a road maintenance. You are looking for a farmer to become the master of health sector. So I don't understand. Who may pass for you for election is somebody that you compensate with one post or the other. We used to go in and outside of Africa or Nigeria. We used to see their road. Why is it happening in Nigeria? Have a nice day.
All right, thank you.
Hello.
All right, we're taking your calls.
No, another just call there. Alright, I'm going with the tweets we got here. Abro Beckham tweeted, Captain No, they should be asked how many of the state roads have they touched. And this still came from Ebro Beckham. It seems so. Well, that's not a complete thought. Olatunde Kenyori tweeted, yes, federal government should privatize the maintenance of roads. Governors clamoring for takeover of the maintenance are looking for means of looting. We got this one from Kurumi. What have governors asking for federal roads done to their own state roads? All right, we go back to pick some more calls. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, my name is Christopher Johnson. Good morning, the resource person in the house.
Good morning.
Yes, on this pouring of our roads, don't you think that by the time we start this, there's going to be some kind of favoritism whereby either the presidency or the minister for works or whoever is concerned will now allot these roads to his cronies or party supporters who will do things that even the minister cannot talk about it, the president cannot talk because he's a higher donor in that party. Don't you think we're going to have an adverse effect on the nation and the citizens of this country? Because most often times, this what happens in this country is those who donate to political parties that are favored the most. Their cronies, their just talk of anybody at all. They will be the people that will benefit the betterment of the roads and the citizens of this nation. Don't you think so, sir? Good morning.
All right, good morning. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Tobi, good morning.
This is Aghemerio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, again, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. You see, I'm surprised hearing this from our state government. I would like to ask this question. Let's say Nigeria just started from 1999. We had these three previous government administration. When those governments are not saying anything about roads, that's when the state government should have said, give us this road. You want to do it. They are not doing this road. The previous government is there that knows the importance of infrastructure, that is doing money, that is doing so that you want to take care of the road now. I'll call them enemies of the problem. Aside Lagos, that yes, they gave this this also the airport road, and you know that I people will not blame them for that. So why now that this government is trying and is doing its best, and we know the we can see it, then again, what record do they are talking about state governors now? What record do they have to present to others? Okay, yes, we did wonderful in our state. We'll do wonderful with the federal government roads. And I tell you, no PPP will talk any state governor, any state government, assigning foreign Lagos and I don't know one or two more to do any this thing with them. They will not talk there. See what happening with Paris Club money now. The government wants them to give to pay salaries of civil servants. See what happens. And they say now they want to. And to me, they should be happy that the roads are coming now, railway is coming. Let them face agriculture, another thing. Okay, it's easy for us to transport this thing, not asking for roads. With what we are going to do, agriculture, I think done enough. You should now, everyone should be thinking about making money. If you don't give them roads, or they'll make money from there, I think that's what they're thinking. They got it wrong. So let them pay what they have now, and be happy that they have to transport produce from the villages to the district. So if they are serious, they will not go out. Let them come out and to pay for what they have done now. Let them pay, they give them the roads. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All
Hello.
right, let's just take the calls. Hello.
Good morning, Toby. Good morning, Aghemerio.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Yeah, good morning to our guest.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is Benson Adi. I'm calling from Ijako. And I really enjoy your presentation. And I want to say, in any country, just like somebody said, that party cronies are given job to do. And you see the Holy Book, Bible said, who walks under the altar can eat under the altar. As long as you don't eat the altar along with the food. So that is it. When you go to US, go to Britain, go to other European countries, the party people who are professionals or businessmen are given patronage when their political party win election. The only difference is that they execute to specification. So you don't say that somebody will win election and you go to Congo to go and bring a contractor. It doesn't work that way. You look within your system and pick people who are competent to execute various projects. Then secondly, the reason why most roads are not even functioning in Nigeria, particularly the federal road, is because the federal road does not even know the location of all their assets, physical infrastructure in the country. There are so many inland basins like dams. Like we go to Oyo State yesterday, the governor said Boroji dams will be given to Oyo State to develop and harness to generate power. The government of the federal does not know the existence of such of those dams. The same thing, the roads we are talking about, they don't even know the existence or how it looks like. If, for instance, the Aso Rock Clinic is not funded, you cannot get a syringe where the president is. The president doesn't know. Tell me, how can they know there is no drug in the Federal Medical Center in Abeokuta there? So the governors are saying, well, the only thing we need to do is to fine-tune the strategy. The road they are talking about should not be exclusively owned by one person or one state or one federal government. By the time you dilute the ownership structure, let the private sector have at least 40% stake. You see that all these roads will be done jointly, and you will not even find any road undone, and that will generate employment across the length and breadth of this country. So rather than just rejecting any good proposal because they are governors who have not performed, we should give them a chance. Then we can support them to maybe develop strategy, how things can be better than the way they have been in the last 60 years. That is my humble contribution. Good morning.
All right, good morning. Can we pick this call and then, all right, now that the call dropped, can we have some reactions from you, please?
According to Big Daddy, I don't think he wants the roads to be towed. But I believe that Big Daddy has not gone to UK. You have children or family members that have been there. I can tell you this. If you want to have better roads in Nigeria, tow the federal roads and let the states maintain what they have and allow the local government to fix the local roads. Let everybody stay in their lane. Let me tell you something. Nigeria is very blessed. We have the best brains around. If we all do what we're supposed to do, everything will be fine. Ogun State is a construction site, according to, is it Biokosele? But I don't think all the roads are completed. So imagine you giving Ogun State Adaton to Ibadan or Adaton to Akpata Road. Do you know what that means? All the roads are not fully completed. The one that is going to OGTV is not completed. The Rwanda Road is still under construction. Let us not put too many irons in the fire. That's my take for Big Daddy. Mr. Johnson, I believe concerning the beneficiaries of the roads, according to the last caller, is the beneficiaries should be the stakeholders. The stakeholders should be the party members. The party members, if to tell you, they invest in the party financially, time-wise, network-wise. So if their party wins, why shouldn't they enjoy the benefits of being in power? That's the essence of being in power. That's the essence of joining politics. That's why we're encouraging everybody should belong to a political party in Nigeria, even the youths. So that's my take.
All right, let's quickly add these messages. This particular one says, in fact, without prejudice, the state should be allowed by any available means by the federal government to do any road, even the federal roads that entered their states. That's Chike from Abeokuta.
Which state is Chike from? I would like to find out who is his governor and what are the roads faring in his state, even in the state where he lives.
All right, I came from Info says, I do believe in many things, but I don't believe in some of the state governments that lack power to turn things around for the better their own state. Okay, that's IK from Ifo. Alright, keep sending your messages to 32120. Type rock, leave a space, type your message, include your name, and send to 32120. You can also reach us via the Twitter handle at RockCityFM. Just tweet your contributions. Let's go back to the calls.
Hello.
Morning.
Good morning, the resource person in the house.
Good morning, sir.
The resource, can I tell you something? My name is Dr. Unkom.
Yes.
You have made my day. That was a classic lucid dissect of an important issue. You said the truth, you didn't embellish it as it's supposed to be, and I'm sure a lot of people will be ruffled because of what you have said. You have said the truth. The state government cannot let them go and pay pension and gratuity first. That doesn't need any Julius Berger, doesn't need any drawings and all that. That is number one. Pay that one alone. Don't do any other thing. Just pay the salary gratuity. We dig our boreholes, we buy our generators, and we can play the road on that. They just cannot. As you already asked the question, how many of them were there? You'll be surprised there are people who have no roads apart from the roads in the state house. We have to toll our roads. Political parties will give a contract to political party members, but it must be, if someone is good and you're a political party, so you should not have because you're a political party. I don't care who, even if the governor's wife, let the job be done. All this type of thing, sharing it around, I don't believe in sharing it. Something has to be done, let it be done. Whether the governor's son or the governor's brother or whatever. Let us leave all this parochial, they will go to a political party and they will not do it. You are not doing it because we are a political party. It's because you are bad. Let us get our roads good, no matter whatever means. But the state government should take care of the roads affected. Let them deal with their own. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Joseph.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Aghemerio, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I want nobody from South Corner area, Jaja Town. Mr. Tobi,
Good morning, sir.
how are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Yes. Federal rules. Who are the people flying federal rules?
Nigerian, sir.
Yes, people living in the state. Now, you want the federal minister to be in charge of all the roads in Nigeria. That is 6 states and the federal capital. That's not possible. That's why we are having bad roads all around. That's why the fact that we have the federal minister of works in each of these states, they are not doing anything. That's why I'm an advocate of giving these federal roads to the state governors to manage. They are doing it. I agree with you that some of these governors are all in all. They are engineers, they are surveyors, they are what do you call it? But they have ministries of works and transport. They have engineers there who can construct roads, good engineers in the state who can construct roads. They have engineers in the cabinet of each of these states. So it will be good if we can leave these federal roads to states to manage. For example, in Ogun State, federal government is constructing federal roads, not mighty. Even not even only Ogun State. All other states, they are constructing federal roads and they are being compensated for doing it. I agree with you that it's a toll road, but flash your mind back to what happened in those days when we had toll gates. Corruption. The money went into private pockets. And we do this. There must be a process where we stop the profit of this toll gate. Thank you very much. God bless Nigeria.
God bless you too. Thank you.
Hello.
Alright, we'll stick with the calls.
Good morning, I was first person.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, you are perfectly right. If you put too many eyes inside the fire, the fire to all the.
Your name, please.
My name is Demola. Sorry, I'm calling
Alright.
from Magbon.
Yes, go ahead.
He has a clear bond, and nobody will be able to see. Everybody be a blind man. How many roads has the state governors constructed in their own constituencies? Talk less of the institutions. So talk less of now handing over the federal roads to them. The federal roads they are constructing, they are collecting their money back from the federal government. Why can't they continue with the system? Why can't they continue with the trend of doing the road and collecting their money back from the federal government? Why are they our state governors if we cannot have a say and they can talk for us in Abuja that look, we have this that we are doing. What of our senators? What out of rep members? What are they doing? Are they not respecting us? That is one. Two, about the toll gates collection and everything. And at the same time, their word of contact, FEMA, NDDC, Ministry of Works and everything. My suspect, what is your take on the corruption going on in the construction in the ministry, especially Prime Minister of Works, whereby FEMA has awarded one contract, NDDC awarded the same contract in River State, the same contract, and they mobilize contractors at the same time. What will you say about that? Thank you very much.
Alright, thank you. But I guess we have to turn over with the call, so let's have your reaction. And for now.
I'd like to thank Mr. Mustafa. He was talking about the supervision of Gufanti fixing a road or building a road some years back, and I'll tell you this: over the years, the Nigerian infrastructural process has really diminished. The level of profit making has increased because of the brown envelopes. I don't think they do brown envelopes anymore. I think they do transfer right now, electronic transfer. So what I would say is this: if my company is given a road maintenance, say from Yanomachuari to NMPC, and the public knows that yes, it is my company that is given or won the bid, I can be sued, and I can sue. If the road is given to me for maintenance and government knows that yes, if the road is towed over a period of 6 months to 1 year, I make 1 million naira. If I'm sued by someone that has an accident there for 100,000, of course I'll know that if I win or if I still have another 1 year before the bid ends, I'll fix the road because I don't want to get sued. Let me tell you this: in Nigeria, we would enjoy this country more if I know that my right is being infringed on, and if I get to the court, I'll have
to redress.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Everybody, towing of roads, corruption back in the day. For Christ's sakes, the social media is around, the internet is around. Back in the days when the roads were towed, I don't think internet was existing. Right now, you can take pictures of the state of the road and send it to necessary quarters, and the appropriate things will be done. Necessary queries will be given, questions will be asked. We need the political parties in Nigeria, to me, have different individuals, from the good to the bad and the ugly, and they have the best also. No matter what happens, if a political party is in power, they will always get the best of hands to tow their roads and maintain it. If those individuals have companies, that corporate entities, then there won't be any problem for us.
So far, they are qualified.
Mami?
Okay.
Mr. Demola talked about corruption too. Corruption is everywhere. It's a virus. If virus stays too long in your body, it will destroy you. If you detect it early, you can destroy it. So it's for us, we Nigerians, to choose. I don't believe with what the governors have in their hand, with the little funds they have, let them do what they are supposed to do in their 4 years. If they can seek re-election, let them win. If they win, let them do their job. Let them move. To me, corruption can only be stopped by each and every one of us. If you decide that you're not going to give bribes to police officers on the road, you don't have change in your. If you don't carry cash, you can't drop your fingers for the police. We have to build ourselves. The mindset must change. It must be right. The situation whereby someone saying, why should a doctor have a construction company? For Christ's sakes. We have people that are not medical doctors all over the world, and they have very good hospitals. It's all about management. I would say this anywhere in the world. If everybody does what they're supposed to do, that purview, we'll make it a better place.
All right, let's quickly add these messages before we go back to the calls. I don't know if we have tweets, Aghemerio. This one says, dear guest at the house, sir, Lafewa Randa Road is not under construction, but abandoned. That's Kade from Randa. All right, this one's from Abdulrashid Kala says, though when people see what is happening in Ogun State, the transformation, the road and infrastructure developments by Ogun State government, led by Senator Victor Musom, CON FCA, it would be so easy to say that the federal roads should be handed over to various state governments. Meanwhile, it is incomparable. The zeal and ability you meant to turn things around positively is what most of the state governors are lacking. So it is not easy. Well, that's Abdulrashid Gilan's opinion. Aghemerio, you want to add the tweets?
Yeah, we got some tweets here. And this came from Kurumi. What have governors asking for federal roads done to their own state roads? State governments that have not ceded roads to local governments are even crippling them financially. Now want federal roads. And still coming from Kurumi, it is this emperor mentality that is doing our governors a beg. They just want to add more power to themselves, Shikina. And we got this still from Kurumi. I agree with the guest that privatization will be a better solution than giving the roads to state governments, Biko. And still from Kurumi, if states are capable, why are their roads bad? If they say they will concession, let them do that to the ones with them first. And let's Ogun put a toll gate in front of OGTV and we'll gladly pay 50 naira to avoid spoiled cars and body aids. Kurumi's Twitter still, I remember that our roads were not as bad as we have now before Baba Obasanjo removed the toll gate. Let them come back. This came from Akaride Camille. I'm in support of handing federal government roads to the states simply because the governors are closer to the people and can be held responsible. Baba T tweeted, one, Ogun dá nǹkan kò tí ì dá tán. Ó tún ní Ogun dá méjì. State government taking over the construction of federal government roads is laughable. Two, the constructions should be given to private companies to do, which surely will produce productivity or will bring about productivity. Baba T tweeted again. Three, like the resource person said, road users will be able to sue these companies if they do paltry or poor quality job on these roads. And again, Kurumi tweeted, many states can't work together on projects. Example, Lautech, Bruhaha, can they now work together on roads, joining them? All right, those are the tweets we got here.
All right, we'll just take maybe 2 calls, and that will wrap it for us this morning on Citizens Forum. 009-868-7344. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
I am Eboke from YouTube. I have to thank our resources in house. We have actually done justice to the topic. Now, I see no reason why federal road should be handed over to the state. It's better handed over to private companies that will do it better. So, let us say, for instance, Ogun 75% of the state roads are not in good condition. Taking over federal road again, that is tantamount to adding to their yoke, adding to their responsibility, including they will not be able to. Look at it, pensions are there, gratuities are there, deductions are there, they are yet to be paid. Having taken Paris loan 1 and 2, they want to add to they are selfish and greedy. They want to multiply whatever they have spent on the road for the federal government. So it's better taken over by private companies instead of the state. Thank you, God bless us.
God bless you
God
too.
bless you too. All right, I think that
Sure.
is.
All right. Should we pick one more call or we
Okay, let's
just
squeeze in one. Just one.
Hello.
Hello, Tobi.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah. My name is Kazim. I'm calling from Bekuta.
All right.
That's Olamide have said it all. They are just looking for alternative because they know very soon the local government issue will be collected from them, whether they like it or not. My brother, let them leave federal road. We don't want them to collect. Let them give it to private organization. The man has said it. The man in the house has said it. We can easily sue them. Who is going to sue this governor? Because they have the humility. Look at the roads over 6 years ago. A lot of them are abandoned. What are we going to do? Because it's a private organization. We can sue it. You can go to them. That's it. So they should not give it to them. They are just people to squander our money again. Thank you. Good morning.
All right, good
All
morning.
right, thank you. All right, your reactions to this last set of contributions that I've learned.
All I just have to say is, I believe the populace know what is going on. They are not deaf, they are not blind. And thank God for social media, the internet. They love negativity about it, but I think the positivity is more. Before any state can clamor for federal road to be assigned or sit to it, we should check their debt level. All the states, how much are they owing? Because what the government is owing is the state itself. If you check the debt level of the states, it will be so alarming. And I can promise you, if you give the federal roads to the states, you're going to have more debts. Then more debts on the road. That's my take.
All right, so there's on that note that we'll draw the curtains on the show this morning. We appreciate every one of you who have contributed to the success of the show. Those who called, those who tweeted, those who posted comments on our Facebook page, and those who sent messages, and of course to you who just sat down quietly listening and enjoying the show. We want to appreciate you, Mr. Dayo Folarin, for actually honoring our invitation and
Thank
doing
you very
justice to the topic this morning. All right, tomorrow is another day on the show. Have a wonderful Wednesday. I am Tobi Joseph.